Ready?
Yep. And we are live here at the Redeemer Gymnasium. OCAA men's volleyball action in what should be a big-time game between the Niagara Knights and the Redeemer Royals. It's a packed house here. The place is buzzing for this Movember game. Reminder that the team has been campaigning to raise money for men's mental health by growing out their mustaches. And, you know, I've seen a few of their mustaches around school, and I don't know if it's the mustaches that are bringing in the money as much as the good cause. But they can't compete with the mustache we have in the booth here, Jared Meyer. And off the bat, the Royals, Jared Prinsloo with a big hit. The Royals the Royals won their last one against Conestoga in a 3-1 win, and what many of them were describing as their best team win of the season. So they're sitting at 3-3 so far in season play. Meanwhile, we look at the Niagara Knights. They're also sitting 3-3 in regular season play. However, they are on a 2-game skid in which they lost to St. Clair and lost to Humber, much like their women's team, who was just taken down in 5 sets by the Royals. My name's Jackson, and I'm joined here by
Jared Meyer in the booth for tonight's Movember game.
And we are getting things going with some aggressive serving. High risk, high reward. Simon Bourne, if that gets in the court, that might be trouble for Niagara. And I'm not sure that you would have heard the announcements coming from the gym, so let's introduce our starting 6 here for the Royals. We've got Simon Bourne, number 4, along with Jared Prinsloo, Jonah Heidberg. We've got Ben Brower setting and Silas Bruckelman in the middle. Our 2 liberos for the game are Andrew Walcott and Carson Grimm. And look at that, Silas Bruckelman getting rolling here as we see Jack Demick subbing in. He's the other middle. Talking to some of the guys before the game, there's a lot of talk about Silas Bruckelman. He's had a lot of momentum recently. He's had some huge games for them. So he's going to look to keep riding that momentum. And we know his potential, so he's a valuable player for the Royals when he's on his game, which he has been recently. Bourne. Over here's Heiberg with the tip. Smooth little tip from Heiberg. The Niagara man almost dove for it, pancaking it, but he didn't get that one. So here on the floor for Niagara, if I can see their numbers, is we got number 5, RJ Martin, along with 14, that's Sam Guzak. Noah Tremblay is the libero in blue. And number 17 is Jack Drummond. And who am I missing out there? Number 10, it looks like Tayton Stifter. So in what is the final home game of this 2025 year for the Redeemer Royals, they'll see if they can come away with a victory. It's currently 4-4. As that serve receive is errant. Here to serve for Niagara, we've got number 14, Sam Guzak. He's a first year out of Beaumont, Alberta, so coming out of province to play some OCAA ball. His serve's no good. He's standing at 6'5", and you know that's one thing that you can just see visibly. This Niagara team has some height up in the front. As we've got Jared Prinsloo with the tiger striped hair. Here on the serve. It's a spinner. Oh, and that had some mustard on it. Heiberg swings for it. Carson Grimm keeps it alive. And it's a net violation for Niagara. An unforced error there for Niagara. The Royals were in no position to mount a great attack. How about that serve by Jared Prinsloo?
Almost looked like he threw it maybe a little bit further ahead than he wanted to, but he salvaged a great serve out of it.
Oh! Ace for Jared Prinsloo. And we've seen him do that before.
That one was right on kind of the guessing game about whether it was going to be in or out of bounds, and Niagara had to pass that one, and that one had too much heat, took it into the ceiling, and gave a point to Redeemer. So we see Prinsloo again, took a little bit off that one, maybe was going for more of a placement serve, but maybe got out of his rhythm a little bit, and that one's short for a missed serve. And we'll give service back to Niagara through number 17, Jack Drummond.
Out of Thorold, Ontario. Jack Drummond, the second year. Nice spin serve. Walcott with the diving dig. And Hybird snipes the back corner. And you know, that's something we've seen a lot of from these Royals. When they're able to stay in system and get those passes to Ben Brower, they make plays. Just don't ask me what that means.
We've got the perpetrator of that hit a moment ago, Jonah Hybert, serving now for the Royals. That's passed up by Tremblay, set to the outside. And point given to the Royals. Maybe that was a fourth hit. Yeah, never touched a Royals player and came back onto Niagara's side of the court, and they played it. But
you know, go ahead, Jared.
No, I had nothing.
Well, I was speaking to Brett Jenkins before the game. He's the media coordinator here for the Royals, and he said that if the Royals men's team is able to clinch this one, that will be 8-1 at home on the season for the Royals.
Oh wow!
This semester,
like,
that's just the number he gave me. Like 8-1, including the women's team.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
As a unit, the volleyball program. So what a great semester we've seen from this Redeemer volleyball program.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And their semester's not over yet. They still have a big road trip to Sudbury to play Cambrian and Boreal coming up, I believe, next weekend. So lots more volleyball to be played as we are 9-8 here. It's kind of trading blows here. And we have, looks like RJ Martin on the serve. How about that?
I think Simon Bohr just hit that off the head of Sam Guzak down the line.
Not necessarily what you aim for. However, everyone loves to see a good dome every once in a while.
A point is a point is a point.
A point is a point.
Jack Demick with the serve that just clears the net. It's kind of tipped back into play by one of the Niagara players, and it was at a great height for a set of the middle, and that hit came straight at Redeemer. They had no answer for it. That's a point to Niagara.
That was Riley Orr with the kill. Kind of swinging across his body with abandoned, and he nailed it. Grazes the top of the net. Brower. Bourne again. He's blocked out of bounds. So great deflection there by Bourne, getting it out off the blocker.
Nope.
And we have Ben Brower back to serve. Means we've made a full rotation already for the Royals. Oh, he's lucky that went right in between the rafters there because he put some height on that one. Brukelman will just tip it over, and now we got a back row swing from Jack Drummond. And if this first 21 points is any indicator of how this volleyball game is going to go, we are in for a treat. Trading big swings here. Bourne, Brower, right back to Bourne. It was blocked, and Walcott will make the set up to Prinsloo, and we've got a free ball here. Heiberg soaring in. How about that from Jared Prinsloo? He pointed at the head after. He knew that was a high IQ play. He saw that exact gap, and he sniped it. Bourne with the serve. Whoa, ho, ho. Number 4, Riley Orr. What a swing there. And that might be a bit of a cautionary tale for the Royals to keep it away from that guy, because that looked like a tough hit to return. Bruckelman answers back with his own. Bruckelman's been all over the place to start this game.
Well, that's the problem with volleyball. Once you get the ball to the other side of the court, you don't really have much power to keep it away from any which player. You just got to do your best to stop them through their hitting, but can definitely make the job as hard on them as possible, giving them difficult balls to pass to the setter and get good plays out of. But yeah, they'll definitely have to be on the Royals' watch list tonight. Is those hitters out of middle. That one grazes the top of the net as it comes through. This is Brower now set to outside for Hybert. That one comes far off the block and deep into Royals territory. No one's there to cover for it, and it'll be a point to Niagara. As for the two meetings between these teams last season, Niagara took both of them. A 3-1 win in Niagara and a 3-2 win in this gym. Although different squads for both teams. Niagara without their all-rookie member last year, no longer with the program, Wisdom Smith, but definitely could mean things could be different this season in terms of how we'll see these two teams play each other.
It's also very much worth noting, number 13 for Niagara, Sam Pinn, he's injured, and he's not on the court today playing. There was some discussion about whether he'd be ready for tonight's match. The Royals definitely, they said they definitely prepared for him to be in there. He's dominant. He's 13th in kills per set in the OCAA, but he's not playing tonight, so we wish him speedy recovery. And it definitely does relieve the Royals a little bit of some attack. Great dig by Bourne. Back set by Demick. And he'll just have to give a freebie there. Back row. It's tipped. Walcott. Over the net, but Prinsloo's there. Heiberg. Well, Heiberg, he swung hard at that one. Good aggressive swing. Just to the left.
We've got Tayton Stifter serving. And that one called in by the linesman.
That's an ace right there. The Royals weren't able to read where that one was going. And it's 15-14. Niagara takes a 1-point lead here in this first set. Lots of spin. Bourne's able to get there. Heiberg! Well, he had all the time in the world while he was up in the air to think about that one. How about that bounce on display? And he picked the right spot and nailed it.
Yeah, it didn't even have to be the most powerful hit out of Hybert. It wasn't his strongest hit ever, but just picked the spot and no one was around to cover it. So good placement by the Redeemer outside hitter. This is set to the left side for Niagara. 3 up to block for the Royals. This is Grimm, passes to the right side for Prinsloo. Sent that one careening just over the net, and too much power to field for Niagara as that one was passed up into the ceiling. So a good play by Prinsloo to anticipate having to hit quite a distance from the net. Great hit.
And early on, the Niagara Knights are introduced to the low ceilings if they haven't played here before. Definitely compared to the cavernous gym at Niagara College, it's a bit of an adjustment as we have a block there by Demick, a jump set, and 12 will just play that one over softly. Brower, how about that? The finesse, the touch by Ben Brower. Caught them lacking down in that corner area and just placed that ball perfectly. And we've got a timeout called by Niagara as the Royals are up to 17-15 in this first set.
I mean, that's a pretty classic trick play we see from setters, is to, fake the set and just tip it over. But whatever action Ben Brower put on the ball, I'm not familiar with that. He made some sort of, unfamiliar contact.
Very elusive.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Redeemer Royals Volleyball would like to thank Wes Shilstra of Remax Escarpment Realty, the official sponsor of our Final Score updates this season. Wes is passionate about helping families find their place to call home. Whether you're buying or selling, trust, experience, and integrity. Trust Wes Shilstra, Remax Escarpment Realty. Thank you, Wes, for your ongoing support. Here is Jonah Heidberg back to serve here for the Royals. Cameraman getting some good shots of him. We might see those up on the gram in a few weeks. And the libero, nice dig. Oh, how about the elevation there? But Grimmer gets a hand on it. Oh, a big swing. Good tip there by Demick on the block. Sets up Simon Bourne for the cross-court kill. 18-15 for the Royals. I believe that's a 4-serve run here that we're watching. So we'll see if they can keep that momentum going. And the commentator's jinx maybe played a role in that one. Andrew Walcott in white will check in as the service receive libero. Here's Ryder Beauregard with his first serve of the game into the net.
Now, Jackson, you spoke with one of the men's volleyball players and asked them about what some of their keys to the game could be. And for those at home maybe wondering if it's, pretty tactical X's and O's kind of stuff, not necessarily that complicated.
I think he may have been dumbing it down for me, potentially.
Perhaps. But even so, I think...
He emphasized serve and pass, which is, a staple. Got to have that locked in every game. And then he's thinking they need to get Niagara out of system, and their blockers can take care of the rest. While the Royals are looking to stay in system as much as they can, thinking their middles will create lots of space for their outside hitters. We've already seen that already with some dominant play by their middle so far, and when there's all that attention on those guys, then you've got guys like Heidbert and Prinsloo, as well as Bourne, who are able to get in the kitchen on that outside. Walcott with the dig. It's a bit of a low serve there to Brukelman. He can't do much with it. And serving here for the Niagara Knights is Tayden Stifter. Walcott, Brower, Bourne off the top of the block. It is something to watch the snap on Bourne's arm when he's ready for that hit. He gets some major power out of that. And he placed it perfectly off the top of the block. Here's Ben Brower as the Royals are up 20-18. Brower hits it directly to Cam Moss, who doesn't have a great touch on that one. Ends up flying out towards the benches. As the packed crowd down in the gym is getting fired up, starting some chants, hyping up the boys. Oh, almost trickled over the net, but not quite.
That brings Niagara back to within 2. And if that one had gone the way of the Royals, it would have been 3 points away from closing out the set. We'll have to get back into the driving seat here as Ben Brower sets that to the outside for Simon Bourne, who migrated over to this right side, hit it straight into the block and down onto Niagara's side of the court. Good to give service back to Redeemer and give service back to himself as we see Simon Bourne take the serving position. 22-19, pivotal points in this set should Redeemer win it. Will make the gap very difficult to close. A very powerful serve from Bourne is just hit back onto the Royal side of the court, and Silas Brookerman taking every advantage of that opportunity to tip it right back down on Niagara in a place where they can't get it. Did just so. The service back to Simon Bourne with only 2 points left before closing out this set for the Royals. And we'll have a timeout taken by Niagara. They'll try and work over what they can do to slow down this Royals momentum. And as we take this break, I'd like to remind you that tonight's Redeemer Royals volleyball game is proudly brought to you by Finn Pools, a proud sponsor of your Royals and the Make a Splash move of the game. For over 25 years, Finn Pools has been transforming backyards with custom designs, expert installations, and trusted maintenance, delivering top quality products they stand behind. From concept to completion, they believe kindness matters and every project deserves excellence. So if you're interested, visit finnpools.ca, that's FINNPOOLS.ca, to learn more or to start your next pool project today. Thank you to Finn Pools for
It's a draw. You know?
Okay.
Bourne with the serve. And how about that block there by Bruckelman? Brower sets it to the back row. Oh, Bourne frustrated with that one. He thought he saw daylight on that other side. We have now number 16, Britton Burrows, serving for Niagara. His first serve of the game. Walcott digs it. Heidberg. Hello, Jonah Heidberg. How about that one? Jonah Heidberg showing off the hops quite often here in this first set. As the Royals have reached set point, it's 24-20. The fans are on their feet as Silas Bruckelman will deliver the serve. And on the pass cross court, Sam Guzak hit the ceiling, and the Royals take the first set, 25-20. What a great first set of volleyball. Saw a lot of big hits from some Royals attackers, and a lot to be hopeful about for these next few sets as the Niagara Knights will recalibrate and look to take a set of their own in this second one.
About to start our second set here between the Redeemer Royals and the Niagara Knights. Not sure who will start the set with service. We'll find out soon enough. We have Andrew Walcott starting in the libero position for the Royals. Redeemer winning the first set 25-20, I believe. Even off the back of a couple early missed serves right out of the gate for the Royals, they were still able to battle back and win a set by a decent enough margin. 5 points is pretty good in the OCAA. But we'll have Niagara start with the serve here. That one's set by Bourne and set quickly to middle. Brookelman is all over that. He's ready. It comes off the arm of a Niagara player, but not enough to field a good pass. And it will be point for Redeemer, giving the serve to Ben Brower, the Royals setter, the second-year player. Serving out of the middle of the backcourt. This is set to the back row for Niagara and striped right down the middle by Jack Drummond.
Early on, we've seen a lot of sets to the back row for Jack Drummond. He gets the elevation and he has a great swing. It's been a real threat for the Royals. Walcott with the dig. Brower to the outside is Jared Prinsloo. Boom! And then, that's exactly what they were talking about. Those middles drawing some attention, and it opens up like the Red Sea for Jared Prinsloo to crank one. As we have Simon Bourne back to serve.
A lot of spin on that serve for Bourne. Just finds out of bounds left. He's maybe trying to pick a spot on that serve as opposed to his usual more powerful route, but still level this set at 2. As we see Riley Orr setting for the Knights out of the left side. One's passed up by Bourne. Brower to set quickly for Brookelman, and he's there again. The timing has been good between those two early on in this set as Brookelman finds the open space. And
Brookelman really had to extend to get to that one. It looked a bit high, but it turned out to be just right. And now Brookelman will be back to serve for the Royals as they lead 3-2.
A difficult situation Niagara put themselves in there. The pass was kind of just above a player they didn't maybe want to be taking the second pass, and they weren't able to clear themselves out of the way. So the ball hit the ground after only the first hit. Gives service back to Silas Brookelman. Redeemer with a 4-2 lead now in the set. A little bit more of a floaty serve. Tremblay with the pass. Set to the middle. Redeemer digs it, keeps it up, and Prinsloo just misses clearing that one over the net by about an inch. Almost able to dump a free ball into Niagara, but not quite successful. But that one was right in front of the net. It was just a last-second reaction, so definitely no fault of the Redeemer outside hitter and not being able to get that one over. But now we have Sam Guzak serving for Niagara. Only 1 point back of the Royals right now in this set. High arc on his serve, set towards the back. That's passed up by Walcott. Set out to the right side for Prinsloo. Picks his spot. Feeling the heat on that on that attack from Jared Prinsloo. He'll give the ball right back to himself as he goes back to the back line to serve.
How about the percentage we've seen out of Jared Prinsloo so far? Feels like he's able to get every set that's sent his way into the court. And once again, I need to stop talking positively about people when they're serving, perhaps, because the commentator's jinx appears to continually show its ugly head.
I know you were good friends with Jared. How do you feel about the phonetic pronunciation of his name here on the roster being Prinslow?
I refuse to accept it. I've always mispronounced his name as Prinsloo, and I'll continue to. Love you, Jared. Here comes Jonah Hybert.
Floating serve. Passed up by Niagara and set quick to middle. That's number 5, RJ Martin. Quick attack out of middle. Came off the Royals block and onto their side of the court.
RJ Martin standing at 6'8". He's got a few inches even on the tallest Royals player. He's got the hops to go alongside it. as Demick is blocked. Ball bouncing around the net area, and Bourne will take a big swing. And it ends up being blocked in what was kind of a chaotic rally there.
I think, yeah, Jack Demick was caught in a position where he tried to get out of the way of the left side hitter, but there were a lot of people kind of in that corner of the court. Bourne was still able to get a good swing at it, and the block was well positioned. So another serve coming from Niagara. Hybert does well to pass it up, and Brower goes up to the net to try and poke it over, but it looks like he'll be called on a net violation. And we'll give service back to Niagara as we see RJ Martin continue his service here. Niagara up 1 in this set, 7-6. Serve from Martin to Hybert. Brower does his best to corral it over to Bourne, who swings kind of behind him to get it over the net. It's a great hit, and it's ended up given as a free ball, but there was just not a person in that spot to make a good pass for the Royals, and they are unable to capitalize, unfortunately, on that somewhat gift of an opportunity. It's not often that the ball doesn't come blazing right at you in the OCAA, and that was one of them, and the Royals weren't able to capitalize. They still only sit 2 back. This is Martin again, serving straight to Hybert. Set out to the left side for Bourne. And that did end up coming off the Niagara block. I wondered if that just came off the net and out of bounds, but point awarded to Redeemer. Niagara block got some involvement on it, and it went out of bounds.
Jack Demick here with the serve.
Set out to the left side. Nice hit by Cam Moss. Picked a spot on the right side of the court and hit it well. Got Tayton Stifter now. The first year out of Welland, Ontario. Hybert. I believe that's like the 4th serve in a row that's gone to Hybert. Set over to the right side. Maybe a double hit called. As we see Ben Brower with the serve here. Set it to the right side. That's Moss again. That one finds its way past Carson Grimm.
Moss going back to serve with lots of confidence. Couple big hits from him. As Andrew Walcott checks in for the serve receive and makes the dig. Brower will set behind him too. Simon Bourne deflects off the blocker and down. Simon Bourne seeing a lot of action here early on, and he's swinging hard. He has the ability to put it exactly where he wants it to deflect off the blockers. So even if the blockers get a piece of it, it's usually for the Royals' advantage. Although he has struggled with some missed serves here early on. He's a very aggressive server, as we've said. A lot of spin on that one, so...
And if I'm that white band across the top of the net, I'm in some serious pain after that serve by Simon Bourne. But that serve by Niagara is long. Gives possession right back to Redeemer as we see this set tied up at 11. Unless the people on the score table were even faster than I was. I thought I called that one pretty quickly, but maybe this is just still 10 points for the Royals. Okay. Kudos to the people at the scorers table. That's passed up by Tremblay. Set to the outside for Niagara. Bourne's under it. Set out to the left side now for Hybert. He reaches behind his head to get a swing at that. Tremblay will have to set out to the right side. Guzak gets all he can on that one from kind of a stationary position and hits it wide. Point for the Royals. Now it's equalized at 11 for this set.
Make a wish. We have Silas Brukelman back to serve for the Royals.
You know what I wish for, Jackson? I wish to know why the Royals are wearing a different shade of blue tonight.
Well, Jared, let me tell you. Tonight, our men are wearing blue in support of Movember, a global initiative dedicated to raising awareness and funds for men's health, specifically prostate cancer, testicular cancer, mental health, and suicide prevention. Our guys have been busy all month growing, promoting, and fundraising to support this important cause. If you hadn't had a chance yet to support them, you can still get involved. Visit @RoyalsMVB on Instagram for more information and to find the link to their Movember campaign. Thank you for cheering them on, both on and off the court. And it's tied up here at 12-12. We've had a back and forth set this whole time. Big serve there, but Bourne's able to get it up. Heibert's going to have to give a free ball. To the right side, but Walcott with the big dig. And it's a double by Ben Brower.
Maybe we'll forgive Ben Brower on that double hit after he completely laid out entirely to keep that possession alive for the Royals. That was... wow. He really dove after that ball to keep it in play. Was able to. Unfortunately, the point not going Redeemer's way in the end. We have Guzak now serving. That one tips off the top of the net. Brower sets out to Heibert on the left side. Tries the left-handed tip, but the block is up. That 6'8" presence of R.J. Martin. Able to send back Heibert's attempt at a tip right back onto Redeemer's side of the court and win the point from it.
When Martin's in the front row, you have to be kind of aware of where he is at all times. You're really not going to be able to get much over top of him with that wingspan and height. And that spin serve by Guzak goes into the net. And Jared Prinsloo will go back to serve for the Royals. Carson Grimm checking in for defense.
Tremblay to Stifter. And hit by Martin. Almost passed up by Simon Bourne. Not quite. Another point the way of Niagara, who now lead by 2. We'll have Jack Drummond serving for the Knights. A powerful serve towards Walcott. Tries to take as much power off of that one as he can. It went through a hole in the rafters. Niagara not so lucky on their pass attempt. Just beams straight into the roof.
The roof
ceiling.
giveth and the roof taketh away.
Yeah, the ceiling. We've got to agree on a term for the season. We still haven't. But Redeemer getting a little bit lucky with their placement. Andrew Walcott might tell you otherwise, that he perfectly planned that, but come on, guys.
Countless hours in the Redeemer gym. He knows how to put it between those rafters.
Exactly.
Heibert with the serve. It's a high one, and it's out the back. Good call there by the Niagara back row, although it wasn't necessarily a difficult call. Serving here is R.J. Martin. He's a second year out of St. Mary's. A softer serve. Walcott controls it easily. Right to Brower. Oh, and I like the look of that. But it just can't get over the net there from Jack Demick on the reverse set from Ben Brower. And it looks like Coach Wes Skilstra is going to use one of his timeouts here to talk things over with the group. It's 17-14. Niagara fighting back after losing that first set.
Speaking of Wes Skilstra, tonight's Redeemer Royals volleyball game, Redeemer Royals Volleyball would like to thank Wes Skilstra of Remax Escarpment Realty, the official sponsor of our final score updates this season. Wes is passionate about helping families find their place to call home. So whether you're buying or selling, trust experience and integrity, and trust Wes Skilstra of Remax Escarpment Realty. We thank you, Wes, for your ongoing support of Redeemer Royals Athletics.
Sponsoring your own team as a tax write-off. Here's the serve, and Heibert will get it up. Ben Brower having to slide to make that set, and he places it perfectly for Simon Bourne. And The Royals needed that one to cut it to 2. And it looks like Isaac Vrugdenhill is checking in for the serve.
Redeemer usually pretty sparing with their moves off the bench. So we'll see what Isaac brings to the floor here. Passed up by Tremblay. Set by Stifter out to the right side, or sorry, the left side for Moss. It's fielded by Hybert, and a tip from Bourne. Sent back just by the tip of the fingers of Riley Orr. Stretching out to make sure that one didn't get over the block. And puts Niagara back up by 3. Vrugdenhill coming back into the game, or coming back out of the game. Looked like maybe he was just introduced to serve. I'm sure he'll take his game time. And he put the ball in play, so that's all he's got to do there.
As Taden Stifter serves it into the net, giving the Royals another point and cutting the lead down to 2, as Ben Brower now will serve it. Tremblay.
Oh, big block by the Royals. Silas Brookerman at the helm of that one. Taking the full force of that hit, setting it back. Putting the Royals within 1. And giving Ben Brower the serve. Niagara has an interesting roster as far as the OCAA goes in that they don't have a 4th-year player listed on their roster. Kind of an oddity around the league.
And they only have 1 third-year player. Everyone else is either 2nd or 1st year, as Jared Prinsloo does what he does best and sends a big hit towards the Niagara defense. But that shows a lot of promise for the future for these Niagara Knights. A young team getting a lot of experience. Younger guys setting up, learning to lead without some veteran presence. As that pass was just sent right across.
Oh, another oddity. A free attack from the net. Spewed long by Niagara. That one, a lot of excitement brewing from Riley Orr, and just maybe, didn't quite control that one. Sent it right back out of the back end of Redeemer's court, and now the Royals lead by 1. After I feel like they were just down 3 a moment ago.
I think it might be a 4-serve run for Ben Brower. I think I should stop talking when guys are serving.
As we were saying about Niagara having mainly 1st and 2nd-year players, once these guys all get to 4th year, oh my goodness, what a team it's going to be. A great hit out of middle by Silas Brookelman, but doesn't quite catch Niagara's boundary of their court, which is kind of important in terms of winning points. But
fantastic timing there, though, between Ben Brower and Silas Brookelman. He had that ball was in the perfect place at the apex of his jump.
And Brookelman with a great dive to keep that point alive. The setup to the left side. Jared Prinsloo hits it off one of the Niagara players out of bounds. Salvages a point for the Royals. Good defensive effort by Redeemer, keeping the plays alive. Now we've got this set at 20 apiece. Redeemer with service and Simon Bourne. Tremblay passes it up to Stifter, now to the outside for Drummond. And that one comes right back over the net towards Niagara, and they had one of their middles right there. It was Drummond who was able to tip that right back down onto the Royals side of the court. And they'll have service to show for it. As we have number 3, Ryder Beauregard, serving. First-year player. Sends it deep left. That one's out of bounds. Sends it back to 21 apiece in this set.
And this just has the feeling of a set that will really dictate the momentum of this game. Royals up 1-0. And we have had a back and forth set. Really, the team that's able to make the big play at the big moment is going to pull away with this one. And the Royals could go up 2-0.
And that one maybe just needed to be a little higher for
RJ Martin there.
Yes.
Didn't have much to swing at. And the Royals go up 1. And the home crowd is showing lots of love, as they are 3 points away from clinching this second set. Ruckelman. Tremblay. And that was just a tough one to defend there. Holy smokes. And I believe that was number 10, Tayton Stifter. Oh no, my bad. It was Jack Drummond who ended up finalizing that play. And an impressive bump set spike there for Niagara.
Hybert doing his best Andrew Walcott impression, keeping it away from the rafters, but his subsequent hit is blocked by RJ Martin and puts Niagara back up 1. Sam Guzak now going to serve, but the Royals will call a timeout.
So here we go. The Royals need 3. The Knights need 2. And something tells me the Knights need this set pretty badly. Yeah. Going down 2-0 at the Redeemer Royals gym is not something you want to see. Although the women's team almost pulled it off, forcing a 5th set. But these Royals need to lock in here and come away with a few big plays to try to get this set.
Yeah, usually if a team goes up 2-0, you're thinking, well, this game could end in 3. And if it's 1-1 after the first 2 sets and it's pretty even, as we're seeing it here, then you're like, this game's going to 5. So, yeah, how this set ends is really pivotal in what this game will end up being. Although it could go to 4. But likely is that if the Royals take this one, they'll have a pretty easy path to victory. And if Niagara takes it, it's anyone's game. As we see Guzak serving.
Hybert finds Brower. Gets it to the back row. Bourne. And Niagara can't keep that one out of the ceiling.
And it's difficult when habit kicks in. Maybe Guzak, he put a lot of power into that attempted bump over the net, and I think in his own gym he would have been fine and dandy doing that, but in the low ceiling of Redeemer's Athletic Center, not going to fly. As we see this all tied up at 23, we've got Jared Prinsloo, the 5th-year player for the Royals, with a powerful serve left by the Niagara serve receive. A risky move, but it paid dividends, as this is now set point for Niagara. You never want to lose a set by this close, especially when you're up 1-0 already. Going up 2-0 for the Royals would be huge in terms of this game. You've got to play a whole nother set and win it after coming so close. This is a make or break point, and unfortunately it's just too much for Redeemer's serve receive. Andrew Walcott kind of slides left to try and get under it, but it's passed into the ceiling. Niagara takes the second set by 2, evening things at 1-1. We'll have a few more sets in this game.
Well, what a clutch win for Niagara there. Never want to go down 2-0, and they were able to clinch it. And it looks like we're in for a classic here. All tied up at 1-1. And it's really, it's feeling like anyone's game here. This game could go the distance. So we look forward to it, and we've got a quick message from our sponsor. Or, even more important.
If you're tuning into the live stream and wondering why our Royals are wearing blue tonight, usually we wear white at our home games. Tonight, our men are wearing blue in support of Movember, a global initiative dedicated to raising awareness and funds for men's health, specifically prostate cancer, testicular cancer, mental health, and suicide prevention. Our guys have been busy all month growing, promoting, and fundraising to support this important cause. And if you haven't had a chance to support them yet, you can still get involved. Visit @RoyalsMVB on Instagram for more information and to find the link to their Movember campaign. So we thank you for cheering them
right, we ready?
Ready?
A big hit from the back row there by Jack Drummond. Gets the Niagara Knights rolling here in this third set. We're locked up at 1 set apiece. And we've got Cam Moss here back to serve. Walcott gets it up. It's a low pass. Bourne right to the net. Bourne's swing is blocked upwards, and Drummond will have another one. Jack Drummond with some impressive hitting on display here to start the set. We've seen a lot of that from him so far, as Cam Moss will have another serve. Bourne, Brower. Tremblay with the set over to Drummond. Hybert. And it'll be a freebie here, right at the net. Brukelman will corral it over to Prinsloo. And it looks like the blocker did get a piece. Knocked it out of bounds. Jared Prinsloo makes another play for the Royals, getting their first point of the set. Simon Bourne back to serve. That one had some heat on it. Drummond blocked by Brukelman. Well, after a few big kills by Drummond, Brukelman finally calls his number and gets the big block. Drummond digs it. Played back to Guzak. And the Royals will get a piece of that. It'll end up going out of bounds. Here's Riley Orr, the 6'5" middle, out of Welland, Ontario. It's a softer serve. No problem for Bourne. And Hybert will have a big swing. And that is sent back emphatically by R.J. Martin. Walcott with the dig. Prower has to dodge Brukelman. Makes the back set to Prinsloo, and he ends up swinging it into the net. So the Royals going down 5-2 here early in this third set. Usually considered one of the most crucial sets in a volleyball game. Back row is Bourne. Dig by Martin. Here's Guzak. Diving is Walcott, and Brukelman in the middle. Somehow that's dug by Drummond. Brower. And Jared Prinsloo goes in there and punches it just to try to get that thing over, and it ends up going into the ceiling. (6-2) here for Niagara. Bourne, Brower. Well, Brukelman had the hop, so he was able to stay up there for a while, even though the timing wasn't perfect, and get that thing down right to the soft spot. As Jack Demick will check in. There's no liberos on the floor right now for the Royals. Brukelman to serve. And it goes over the hands of Moss, but they're able to keep it alive as Jared Prinsloo flies in there on the right side, deflects it off the blocker out of bounds. And the Royals are chipping away at the early deficit that they fell into, and it's now 4-6. Tremblay. Guzak out the back. Setter Tayton Stifters. He's been finding a lot of different hitters here. He has options. He's gone to Guzak a few times. Time Guzak's not able to convert. And the Royals have it to within 1 early in this third set. Brukelman, Tremblay. And how about that? Stifter to the middle. And the Royals have no answer for that one. As libero Andrew Walcott checks back in, hopefully to help out with those exact kind of plays. As Guzak's back to serve. Brower sets it back row. And Moss sends that one into the bleachers. Gets the fans involved a little bit on the big back row hit from Simon Bourne. Carson Grimm in the white, checking in for the Royals as Prinsloo will have his serve. And out the back. And we'll get another look at Jack Drummond here serving. Oh, that thing had some zip. And so did that. Simon Bourne sniping it from the back row. The Royals are fortunate that that serve hit the net because that thing was coming fast. Here is Jonah Heidberg. Tremblay digs it. Stifter. Moss. And Moss squeaks it in between the blocker and the net.
I thought that was completely blocked by Redeemer and wondering why Jack Demick didn't look more pleased with himself, but yeah, somehow that found space between the Royals block and the net. We'll have R.J. Martin serving. Passed by Walcott. Brower sets it to the left side for Bourne. He hits that into the back corner. Point won by the Royals. As we'll have Jack Demick go back to the serving spot. Redeemer trailing by 1.
Not the serve Jack Demick wanted there. And it looks like we're in for another close set. 8-10, Royals down 2. As Tayton Stifter, the setter, is back to serve. Easy one for Heidberg there. Oh! Once again, amazing connection between Ben Brower and Silas Brukelman. You can tell they've been in the gym working on that one. Great placement out to the side. Stifter. Great dig there by Brower. And how about that? Simon Bourne. Gently over the top, right in the perfect spot over the blocker's hands. And we're locked up at 10 here. How about that great defensive play by Ben Brower as well?
Unfortunately, that serve also finding the net for Ben Brower. Only a 1-point lead for Niagara at this point in the game. We've got Cam Moss serving out of the right side. Walcott with the pass. Brower sets it to the right side for Bourne. And he finds the left side of the court on a great hit. And with that, will win himself a spot at the server spot. This game tied at 11. Redeemer with one of their power servers at the helm. That one's hit right to the libero and some speed taken off by the net. Jack Drummond will have to improvise, but a great sprawling play by, was that Prinsloo or Brower from the Royals?
That was sure. Brower.
That was Brower diving to keep that play alive. Unfortunately, point not eventually going the Royals' way. I have Riley Orr serving now for the Knights as they go up 1 again. Bourne with the pass to Brower. Out to the left side for Hybert. He finds the right spot as it locks the set back up at 12. Have Silas Brookelman going to the service spot.
And we've seen a lot of great hits by Niagara, and it's no coincidence. They are sitting at number 2 in the OCAA in hitting percentage. And we'll see if the Royals blockers are able to get them below their average, so the Royals have a chance there as Jack Demick uses his chest to get it over. Oh, and it's still live, despite the miscommunication between Brookelman and Bourne. And that was just a peculiar rally there. We saw it bounce off Jack Demick's chest over the net. And then Brookelman and Bourne were both going for that second ball. Kind of made contact with one another, a bit of a miscue.
I think Simon Bourne eventually called for a lift or a double hit or something of the sort. Sam Guzak passed up by Hybert. And a quick set to Jack Demick. Finds the left side of the court. Point awarded to the Royals.
And we have a few substitutions here for the Royals. We've got Zach Brower in to serve. He's a first-year setter. As well as Jeremiah Zomerman, another first year.
Might we say 2 high flyers for the Royals?
No doubt about that.
Both these guys really get up there. Brower in at setter for the Royals, and Zomerman in as an outside hitter.
And we will see how long they end up staying on the court. We know that Wes Skilstra sometimes subs players in for brief stints just to show a new look, and so we'll see how long these 2 first years stay out there. They've definitely had time to prove themselves in practice, and Zach Brower as well, seeing some regular season action earlier on while Ben Brower was out. No relation there between those 2 setters. And we have Jonah Hybert
no relation
back to serve.
Other than the fact that they're both 2 high-quality setters. That's the only relation between them.
Stiffed. Oh, how about that one? RJ Martin. He was looking down on the net when he swung at that, and the Royals are not able to get the block in. RJ Martin. Easy pass for Walcott. Zomerman with his first hit, and he gets it in. Demick with the block. Stifter to Guzak. Walcott dodging the ceiling once again. And Simon Bourne doesn't get a great chance at that one, and it's an easy block for Niagara. It's an interesting dynamic between these 2 teams. As I mentioned, Niagara second in hitting percentage. The Royals sitting down at 12th. But there's a lot of other factors at play that are keeping this interesting. Brower sets it to Bourne. That's a great dig there by Moss. He'll set back row to Hybert. Nothing got in the way of that one. The connection between Zach Brower and Jonah Hyberg in the back row is established. And the Royals cut the lead to 1 as Demick will serve. He missed his last one, so he's looking to get back here. Stifter. Royals keep it alive. Bourne 2 hands over the net. And Drummond flies in from the back row and just places it in an awkward spot. The Royals defense can't get to it. And we are still seeing Jeremiah Zomerman and Zach Brower out there. Great to see some first years get regular season action. Sets it back to Zomerman. And Zomerman with his first kill of the day. And West Skillstra is satisfied with the minutes those two put in, and they will now get relieved by their veterans Ben Brower and Jared Prinsloo. Love to see Jeremiah Zomerman getting that kill. Definitely a hype moment for the Royals team. Stifter. That was Riley Orr who finished the play. The Royals wanted a call there, but the up ref is not going to hear him out. And here is Cam Moss. Walcott, Brower, boom! Silas Bruckelman. If the well ain't dry, keep going to it. Silas Bruckelman, another big hit in the middle on a perfect set by Brower. The connection there, really quite impressive. Bourne. And Drummond will have himself another kill. As it deflects off Brower, and the Royals aren't able to keep it up. 19-17 for Niagara, as we've got a substitution here. That'll be number 16, Britton Burrows, back out there for the serve.
Redeemer losing that last set in unfortunate fashion. They can't let Niagara get too far ahead here late in the game. Got to take this point. Bruckelman puts it to the back row. It's set up to the right side now for Niagara. That comes off a block. Walcott will have to save it. And Bruckelman at the net just can't tip it over, unfortunately. It gives Niagara 20 points in this set. Redeemer 17.
Great hustle there by Walcott. Just a little close to the net. Bruckelman not able to get that one over, but the Royals decide it's time for a timeout. They're down by 3, 20-17, and it's another nail-biter of a set here. A crucial third set. Both teams fighting hard for it, and we are in store for a good finish. That's for sure. And we'd like to remind you that tonight's Redeemer Royals volleyball game is proudly brought to you by Finn Pools, a proud sponsor of your Redeemer Royals and the Make a Splash move of the game. For over 25 years, Finn Pools has been transforming backyards with custom designs, expert installations, and trusted maintenance, delivering top quality products that they stand behind. From concept to completion, they believe kindness matters and every project deserves excellence. Visit finnpools.ca, that's FINNPOOLS.ca, to learn more or start your next pool project today. Thank you, Finn Pools, for supporting. Heiberg gets it up. Prinsloo! You know, we've been seeing Prinsloo swing hard and hit it fast. That time he uses a little finesse. Just gracefully puts that over down the line, right into that gap. There's more than one ways to skin a cat. Is that the saying?
I think so.
Here we have Silas Bruckelman. Tremblay. Oh, and that was RJ Martin. And you know, we talked about their OCAA second place hitting percentage, and we're really seeing that on display. These guys know where to put the ball, and they swing hard. They jump high, that's for sure. And here we have Guzak. Hybird. Prinsloo off the blocker. They keep it alive. Tremblay will play it over to Drummond. And the Royals will have a chance here. Prinsloo on the set from Bourne. A collision. the middle of the court for Niagara, and they'll give a free ball. Back row to Bourne. And they'll keep it alive by some miracle. Oh, they hit the divider on the way over the net. Oh, no. Brutal for Niagara after an insane series of events that gave them that opportunity. The free ball is passed just a little too high, and it doesn't make it over. Here's Prinsloo now. The Royals are down 2. They can't afford many missed serves. And Prinsloo delivers a dime. Drummond. How about this guy? He is all over the place. And frankly, dominating this game. Kill after kill for Jack Drummond. Walcott in for the receive. The diving play by Walcott. They're saying he didn't get there in time. And Niagara is 2 points away from taking the lead in this game. And Wes Skilstra decides it's time for another timeout to talk things over. The Royals are in murky territory here. Down by 4. Niagara 2 points away from sealing the deal. There's very little room for error at this point. This third set's a crucial one, and frankly, based on what I've been watching, I have a feeling that we might be here in this booth till 11 p.m. because this game might go the distance. So stay tuned. In 30 seconds, we'll be back for the closing.
Okay, ready?
Yeah. We've got the setter, Tayton Stifter, for a very important serve. Brower will play his middle. Jack Demick, big swing. Tremblay gets it up. Moss tries to get it over Brower, and he blocks it into out of bounds. So it's set point here for Niagara. Not the way they wanted the end of this set to go. All hope isn't lost, but it's looking very unlikely here for the Royals in this third set. However, that's a good start. If you got to start somewhere. Out the back, Carson Grimm will check in at libero, and we have Jonah Heidberg with a do-or-die serve here. Moss to Stifter, back to Moss. And he just buries that one. Sends it flying at Prinsloo. And the Knights take a 25-20 victory in this third set. Well, it's now the Royals whose back's against the wall. They have one more set here that they must win to force a fifth set. And the pressure is amping up here at what has been a great game so far. Stay with us for an exciting finish.
Back for the start of this fourth set here. We have Niagara up 2-1, having won the last 2 sets after Redeemer took the first. We have Tayton Stifter, the setter for the Knights, serving, and that's played back onto Niagara's side of the court unintentionally, but it's given back to the Royals. Bourne gets a hit to the right side. It's played by Niagara, and Moss unable to get the contact he wanted on that hit. He gives the first point of the set to the Royals. Simon Bourne, the third-year outside hitter out of Ottawa, Ontario. Serving powerfully. It's passed very well and set to the outside right. Moss was blocked, and it comes back to Niagara. The set up to the left side now for Guzak. That one's passed up by Carson Grimm. Set by Brower is a bit off the net. Hybert will have to just give a free ball. It's set to middle now, tipped over. Demick passes it up. The Royals will be called for some sort of infraction. A double hit on one of their passes. Unfortunately gives service to Niagara. As we have Cam Moss. 6'4" outside hitter from Niagara on the Lake, the first-year player. That serve is wide. Aptly left by Jonah Hybert on the left side of serve receive. And it will give Jack Demick a chance to serve here. Demick, the serve, popped up to middle now for Niagara. Good pass by Brower. Bourne sets it out to Prinsloo, who somehow makes do with a very tight angle hit he had to make. Finds the right spot on the right spot on the court. My apologies, to give the Royals a 3-1 lead this set. Demick at the server's spot again. Looks to float it in to the setter and back out to the left side for Niagara. That one's beamed off of Ben Brower. Didn't have enough time to react. That's Jack Drummond, who's had a very good hitting game tonight. It's Riley Orr now, the middle, to serve for Niagara. Trailing by 1. It's passed up by Bourne. That one's close to the ceiling and just nixed it, unfortunately. It was a good pass to the right spot. If it was 4 inches lower, it would have been perfect. But unfortunately, the low ceiling in this Redeemer gym claims yet another victim.
Interestingly enough, it appears that both teams struggle equally with the low ceiling.
It's true.
It doesn't really serve as a real advantage as far as I can tell for one team or the other.
It's a good point.
Despite the fact that the Royals practice here. Well, the Royals have their backs against the wall here, so we'll see how they perform under pressure. They're up 4-3 here early on, and Prinsloo will deliver a serve. It's right back over. And you love to see the setter get a hit like that. How about that?
Yeah, that
Ben Brower. Coach Skillstra might be considering a positional change after that one.
But point awarded to Niagara for reasons not made clear to us nor the crowd.
And Jared Prinsloo gesturing to the crowd, telling them to stop booing, and perhaps he showing a little bit of the lack of volleyball savvy that the crowd might have.
Set out to the left side. Hybert has to hit through 3 blockers. It came off one of them and towards the sideline. Niagara unable to field the ball, keep it in play. It's a point for Redeemer, who are still up by 1. Yeah, the momentum, I guess the negative momentum of losing 2 sets in a row after being up 1 can weigh on a team, and it'll be a testament to Redeemer's resilience if they can come out of this one with a win. Stifter with the setup to the left side. It's off the Redeemer block. Brower now sets it to the outside for Bourne, who has to tip it through the block. He sends it off the block and out of bounds for Redeemer point. Brings them up 6-4 in this set.
Well, in regular season play, the Royals have yet to win a 5-set match. Although there's a first time for everything, and they definitely seem primed to do it today. As Hybert delivers a great serve. And Drummond will use the inside hand to get that one over.
You usually see serves like that, like, kind of have a little bit of an arc, go up and then down. That one looked like he was attacking from the front row. That one was all downhill from Hybert. I don't know how he pulled that one off, but a really impressive serve from the Royals player. But now we have Drummond serving out of the back right corner. Hybert's under that one, a great pass. Brower will set it up for Bourne, who tries to go cross court. But this one's tipped back over to Redeemer's side of the court, and the quick set from Drummond in his quick reactions went off the ceiling, and will give Redeemer the point and send Silas Brookelman to the server spot.
Brookelman's had himself a heck of a game so far. Good dig by Drummond. Over to Moss. It's a soft hit. No problem for Brookelman. Prinsloo with the hit, and that's just a bit low. Niagara will come away with the point there.
R.J. Martin now serving for Niagara. The floating serve as he's done all night. Bourne passes it up and gets the set right back. Rips it cross court for the Royals. And that's the usual result when Simon Bourne gets a serve or gets a set on the left side, and we love to see that happening over and over again. Ben Brower now, the setter for the Royals, going back to serve. Gets that one to the deep right corner. Moss passes it. Tremblay now with the set out to the left side for Moss. Tips it over. Brower now outside for Prinsloo. A tip. Fielded by Tremblay. Stifter set to the back row. It's tipped. Prinsloo with Brower set out to the left side. Bourne tips it, but he gets sent right back at him. We've seen that a couple times with the Redeemer tips unable to make it over the Niagara block. And that's the second time it's been Riley Orr. But, yeah, Niagara wielding a couple of very, very, very tall middles who have been great coming over to block on that right side for them. As we see Stifter now serve. Walcott lays out to make the play. Bourne keeps it in, and Prinsloo will just send it over to be safe. Stifter now quick set out of middle. Off the arm of Ben Brower, keeps it up. And Bourne will have to give a free ball. Guzak now sets to Stifter. Another hit out of middle. Hybert keeps it up. Prinsloo, and now Bourne forces it to the right side, just out of bounds. Almost perfectly placed by Simon Bourne to catch the sideline, but no dice, and it'll be 8-8.
And we've seen a lot of balls hit the ceiling, but we've seen an equal number of balls go to the height of the ceiling and yet not hit one of the rafters. Interesting how that works. Brower to Bourne. So much power on that hit. Unable to be controlled by Niagara.
And credit to Andrew Walcott, who laid out on that play to keep the play alive. And I'm surprised how often it is that the person who makes a big hit then just goes and serves. They win service for themselves. I feel like it happens all the time. Maybe it's more statistically likely than I think just based on the rotational nature of volleyball, but seems to happen an awful lot. Anyways, the Royals unable to come away with that point. Puts the set back at 9 apiece. I'll have Cam Moss serve. I thought we just had him serving like 3 seconds ago. This is crazy. There's only 9 points for each team in this set. Regardless, Bourne passes it. Set from Brower to the left side, and Hybert was given far too much space. And he obliged to hit that one straight into Niagara's side of the floor with no real block to hit through. As we get Jack Demick now serving for the Royals.
Jack Demick with the cheeky ace. Those almost feel like a gift.
They do.
But nonetheless, an earned gift for Jack Demick here as the Royals are up 2. Drummond, Tremblay. Jack Demick with the dig. Jonah Heiberg. And he sees no daylight there as Riley Orr and Sam Guzak seal up that block and send it back. Riley Orr now back to serve.
That's hitting through a couple of 6'5" blockers. That's not the easiest thing you'll do. Bourne with a quick set from Brower to Brookelman through the middle. That one works. Brookelman not maybe making contact at the pinnacle, had to kind of shorten his swing a little bit, but hit it off the Niagara block and deep into the back of their court is enough to give the Royals a point. And a 2-point lead in this set as we see Jeremiah Zomerman check back in. He had some action in the third set, along with Zach Brower checking in, but it's just Zomerman this time to check in to serve. He gets that one deep. It's passed by Niagara, set it to the right side for Guzak, and Carson Grinout unable to make a clean pass. It'll hit the ceiling and puts Niagara back within one. As we see Zomerman stay in the game. Walcott checks back in for Grimm. Guzak to the service line for the Knights. That one's deep. Linesman having to move out of the way. We're still able to keep our eyes on the floor and make the call. We'll give a point to the Royals. So they jump back out to a 2-point lead, 13-11. And we've got Jonah Hybert, the outside hitter, serving. Jonah Hybert, one of the more powerful servers for the Royals, but opting to do a little bit more of a floater this time. But it gives Guzak the
great dig there by Carson Grimm, keeping that ball in the air. Hybert passes, tipped by Brower. Brower will swing at it, and it lands in bounds. A good team effort there. All hands on deck for that point. As the Royals are up by 3 in this campaign to try to force a 5th set here and get their first 5-set victory here at home. Moss with a good pass. Stifter. Oh, a diving dig by Heiberg, and it'll end up with a free ball from Bourne. Carson Grimm uses his chest for the dig. And I am not quite sure what the call was there.
Me neither.
A great dig there from Carson Grimm.
My eyes were on the official when he was going to give the reason for that, but he just kind of pointed towards the ground on Redeemer's side of the court.
And I didn't see much dispute,
yeah,
so they might know something we don't. Go figure. And there's Heidberg unable to control that missile from Drummond. And that's a name we've said a lot today.
Now, we mentioned the fact that Niagara doesn't have any fourth-year players on their roster and only one third-year. Also, we haven't seen their third-year player, Zach Milton, having action tonight. Perhaps he's out with an injury and has traveled with the teams, but just not featured tonight. But, yeah, odd to see a team in the OCAA fielded with only first- and second-year players. That's something you won't see very often. So,
meanwhile, for the Royals, we've got Brukelman and Brower, second years. Heidberg and Bourne, third years. Walcott, he's a fourth year. Jared Prinsloo, who we've seen a lot of, that's a fifth year. And we've got Zomerman out there right now, who's in his first year, as that serve is long from Drummond. Oh, correction, Simon Bourne's a fourth year. I'm stuck in 2024. And now I'm switching up numbers for years. He is a third year.
I think I did that the other night as well.
What an inconvenience that he happens to be number 4.
Yeah, Silas Brookelman, the 9th year.
yeah.
Got RJ Martin serving now for Niagara, trailing by a point. This nice set by Hybert. This actual set by Ben Brower out to the left side for Bourne, and he finds... Oh, sorry, I'm mixing up my linesman signals now. I was just out of bounds from Bourne, unable to catch the back line. Ties this setup at 15 with Martin still serving. First pass from Bourne. Set by Brower. The back row for Hybert. That one comes off the block and out of bounds. Big hit from Hybert to give the Royals back the lead. I'm always so impressed when it's set to the back row because I'm always just like, it's going to the right side, it's going to middle, it's going to the left side, and I always forget that you can set it at a back row, and it works so well. The Royals have a lot of people capable of doing that. Prinsloo, Bourne, and Hybert especially one of them. As this serve comes in from Brower, it's wayward pass from Niagara. Gives the Royals a 2-point lead. This is especially the point in the set you want to pull away. Force your opponents into a timeout. And give yourself a cushion going down the stretch to close this set out. Serve coming in from Brower. Clears the net. Set by Stifter out to the left side. Just a little bit maybe too close to the net for Cam Moss to get a good swing at. Royals up by 3 as Brower continues to serve. And just as we said, Niagara forced into taking a timeout to talk things over, make sure they try and put a stopper in the Royals' momentum, see how much that works. But at this time, I'd like to remind you that tonight's Redeemer Royals volleyball game would like to thank Wes Shulstra of Remax Escarpment Realty, the official sponsor of our final score updates this season. Wes is passionate about helping families find their place to call home. So whether you're buying or selling, trust experience and integrity, and trust Wes Skilstra of Remax Escarpment Realty. Thank you, Wes, for your ongoing support.
You're ready?
We resume our fourth set action. Royals up by 3 with Ben Brower still serving. This one's set to the back row for Drummond. That one comes off his fingertips more than he would have liked it to. Out the back of the court, gives Redeemer a 4-point lead. Redeemer could get to 20 with Niagara still at 15, which would be an excellent cushion going late into this set to try and force a 5th and final. Brower. Unfortunately, that serve not landing in bounds. Will give Niagara possession and trim the Royals' lead to only 3. Still, the Royals not in a poor position, up 3. But getting service back as quick as possible would be ideal. This is Stifter. Pass from Walcott is wayward, unfortunately. Sends Brower diving into the scoreboard. Didn't make much contact with the scoreboard. Thankfully, doesn't seem shaken up at all. He'll be good to continue. But Redeemer now only with a 2-point lead. Have to weather the storm. And get a good pass here. That's where everything starts. And luckily, Stifter gave them a little bit of a floater, and we'll have Zomerman at the pinnacle trying to force that one over. Hybrid tries to keep it alive off the Niagara block, but unable to do so. And this game's back within 1. Looks like that was a very wise timeout from Niagara as it forces Redeemer to do the same thing. You won't see that every day. The team kind of feeling the threat of the other team just after they were, just after they had forced their opposition into calling a timeout. Now have to take one themselves with only a 1-point lead late in this set. Redeemer can't drop this one or else it'll mean the end of the game. So, yeah, very close set, very tight set. Mike.
And here we go with Tate and Stifter bringing the serve as Niagara trails by only 1 here. Simon Bourne! And I'm impressed the linesman caught that. That was moving so fast, it was hard to track. With my eyesight, it just looked like a line across the court. And Jared Prinsloo will take off Zomerman after some good minutes. And the game is tied up at 19. Royals need 6 more points if they want to keep fighting. And there's a Royals point. Right there, getting them to 20. And Simon Bourne will be swinging from behind the service line. And Drummond will just punch it over, and Bourne, he'll get up there from the back row and try to swing, and he ends up hitting it into the net, and we're tied up at 20. Well, this is crunch time, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you for staying up with us. It's almost 10:45, but people in the gym are not tired, that's for sure. Jonah Hybird buries one right at Moss. Moss had no chance of digging that one from Jonah Hybird. And we've got a substitution now. Isaac Vrugdenhill, we saw him earlier deliver a great serve when he subbed in, and he's back in the most important time of the game. Vrugdenhill. Tremblay gets it up. Stifter. That was Guzak who ended up finishing the play there for Niagara, and it's tied up at 21-21. And we see another substitution here. Both RJ Martin, he's back in the game. We've seen a lot of him, and it looks like Britton Burrows is back for another serve. He's been their designated server a few times this game.
Should probably also be their designated country singer with a name like that. Regardless, we will focus more on his volleyball ability as he takes serve with a tied set. Bourne with the first pass. Brower set to Bourne in the back row. And
it looked like it was Stifter who just had to kind of protect his face there. And he ended up knocking it out of bounds. And there's no one else that you'd want serving other than Jared Prinsloo here. Great to see him back there with the ball in his hands. As Tremblay will come in for the serve receive.
It's great to have the ball in the hands of a fifth-year veteran late in the game in crunch time as Prinsloo delivers a great serve. Unfortunately, that one comes steaming back at the Royals, and the spot where that ball hit the ground was not covered by the Royals defense. Point to Niagara, tying this one back up at 22.
I think that might have been Jack Drummond who had another kill there. And that's a name that I will not soon forget after tonight. Guy's been all over the place for Niagara. Hybird. Walcott with the back set to Prinsloo in the back row. He'll opt to just set it over. Tremblay will set it up. Drummond had another swing, but the Royals control that one. Hybird with the big swing, got a bit too excited. Oh, and there was contact. Niagara's disputing the call. They feel like there was no contact. The up referee said there was. My initial instinct was that there wasn't. I didn't see the ball really change trajectory at all. But it's the man standing on that post who makes the call, and he calls it in favor of the Royals. And they will be 2 points away from forcing this fifth set.
Is the up ref an official term?
I think it is, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes, there's an up ref and a down ref.
Ah, I didn't know
That's what
that.
I've heard the guys saying.
Okay.
And we've got... Sorry, Jared.
Niagara floor captain Noah Tremblay talking it out with the referee. Again, no form of video review here. These people just kind of have to hash it out on the floor between the officials and the players.
We've got the footage here, but we'll keep that to ourselves.
A yellow card issued. to Niagara, perhaps?
Must be. Not happy with the way they're communicating with the ref.
Looks like they're cheering, but maybe in defiance of the call. So it'll be the Royals up 1 now. 2 points away from closing out this set. Heidbert to serve. Passed up by Moss. Set out to the left side. Jackson, who was that?
Who else, Jared?
It was
Jack Drummond.
Routine head out of left side for the power hitter for the Knights.
That man has had himself a day so far.
Will now get to serve as a result of it. As this set is tied at 23. Pivotal point. As Drummond goes up to serve. Passed up by Prinsloo. Brower sets to the outside for Bourne. And that one's off the ceiling from Tremblay. Gives the Royals game point with service. That's exactly what you want to see in that scenario. Just a great pass, great set, a great hit.
And it's game point for the Royals. The fans, the faithful who stayed all the way until the late hours of the night are on their feet and they're excited. Thank goodness Tim Hortons was open late because everyone's nice and caffeinated. And we've been in awe of Jack Drummond this game, and the stats support it. He's number 20 in the OCAA in kills per set. And it shows he's having himself quite a night. That being said, the Royals have found a way. It's been a neck and neck fourth set. And here we are, 24-23, game point. Royals 1 point away from forcing a fifth set, which would make it their third fifth set of the season, of the regular season, and could be the first that they will win. So obviously a lot of focus right now being put into this last point. There's no room for error. They can give up 1 point, but yeah.
Now I'm sure people at home know about Deflategate, the famous New England Patriots possible violation of deflating some footballs in an important championship game to gain an advantage. Now, I'm not saying this was at all intentional. This was just a call by the referee. But if this one goes the way of the Royals, we might have Deflectgate trending around campus in the coming days from that call a few moments ago, whether or not it came off the Niagara block. Nevertheless, Redeemer playing a great set. They have the chance to end it here. Silas Brookelman with the serve. First pass by Moss. Stifter the set. Deep to the back of Royals territory. Unfortunately, came off the abdominal.
Well, it is 24-24.
Goodness. The abdomen of Jonah Heibert, unable to get his arms on that and make a good pass. 24-24, we're in a win by 2 situation now. As Niagara gets served, RJ Martin finds the net. Once again, gives Royals set point.
The crowd is letting him hear it. They'll celebrate a point no matter what, even if it's a missed serve by the other team. Maybe even more so in that case.
And we have Ben Brower, who now, this set had a very good serving stretch at the server spot, looking to end this set in favor of the Royals. Here comes the serve. And an errant pass by Jack Drummond. Has done everything right, but just misplaced that pass. Gives the fourth set to the Royals, and we're headed to 5, everyone.
And how about that? The Royals squeak out a fourth set win and force it to 5. And you can't ask for anything more than this. Back-to-back games, 5 sets, both in the women's game and the men's game. And this is just high-quality, high-stakes volleyball in the Royals' final home game of the year. Not the season, but the year, the 2025 calendar year. And Jared, having watched a few volleyball games yourself now, what are some of the things you think the Royals need to polish up and focus on as they head into this 5th set?
Well, it's a shorter set, only to 15, and I think the real way that a set like this can get away from you in terms of the other team going on a run is just them getting into a rhythm of serving. I think it's really just going to be important for the Royals to dial in their serve-receive. You know, in terms of every game, passing is probably the most important measure that you want to be going right for you all night long. And I think that's going to be especially true in this 5th set, as you can't let Niagara get going in a rhythm of service. You know, the team who has service on any point has the distinct advantage of being able to have the first chance to give the opponent a difficult ball to pass. So I think that's really going to be important for the Royals in terms of, not letting Niagara go on runs. It's just making good passes, and they have the talent from setter. They have the talented hitters to get the job done from then on. And of course, keeping your serves in, because every time that happens, it's kind of a 2-point swing. When you miss a serve, it's not as though if you got it in bounds, it would be an automatic point, but it's very much a better chance to give your team a point than it is when you miss it, because that point just goes automatically to the other team. So those two things, as given to us as intel by one of the Royals players on this team as some of their keys to the game, passing and serving, I didn't really add or bring much to the table, but I think it's true that that's what the Royals need to focus on. And as we head into this fifth set,
there you go.
If you'd like to know tonight why our men are wearing blue, they are doing so in support of Movember, which is a global initiative dedicated to raising awareness and funds for men's health, specifically prostate cancer, testicular cancer, mental health, and suicide prevention. Our guys have been busy all month growing, promoting, and fundraising to support this important cause. If you haven't had a chance to support them yet, you can still get involved. Visit @RoyalsMVB, that's @RoyalsMVB on Instagram for more information and to find the link to their Movember campaign. And we thank you all for cheering them on.
Stifter with the serve to kick things off here in the fifth set. And Jack Demick! Good morning, Mr. Demick. Wow. What a hit. What a great way to start off the fifth set for the Redeemer Royals. 1-0 here. And it doesn't get much better than this if you're a volleyball fan. Like I said, we're in a fifth set between two fantastic teams. It's been neck and neck the whole way. And even though we're nearing 11 o'clock at night, the energy in the gym is still high, and Moss right there responds with a good hit of his own, and now he'll go to serve, supporting your hypothesis. Here's Cam Moss. Walcott, Brower, Demick again in the middle, this time using the little touch to drop it right around that attack line area in that middle gap of the defense. Carson Grimm will sub on now for the Royals. Simon Bourne back to serve. Tremblay wiping up a wet spot on the court. Here's Bourne. Great serve. Moss gets it up. Stifter. And Jack Drummond, despite that error to finish that fourth set, he makes a big play there. And it's locked up at 2 apiece. Riley Orr. Highbird blocked. Bourne keeps it alive. Demick goes for the touch shot. And as Ben Brower was trying to get it over the net from nearly under the net, he ends up hitting the divider, which is the second time that divider's gotten hit, although that one was a little less consequential. I'm not sure that was going over either way. The angle wasn't quite there. Riley Orr. Great serve. Hits the net, fortunately. And how about that? Ben Brower keeps it alive by some miracle. And they can't finish the rally, though, as RJ Martin drives it home. I still need to see the replay on that one because Ben Brower had some wizardry to keep that ball alive. And the Royals are down 2-4 here in the 5th set. And they make the wrong read on that one. The back row was certain it was going out. It had not too much front spin on it, and so it didn't drop as anticipated perhaps, and ended up landing in that back corner. So what went from a celebration quickly became disappointment. Brower in the back row to Bourne, and that'll deflect off Riley Orr and into the roof. Simon Bourne, a big back row hit. As the Royals don't have a libero on at the moment, with Jack Demick serving. Moss serves it right, passes it right back. Bruckelman. Tremblay with the set. Wow. And Guzak is blocked. The fans are on their feet here. It's a 4-5 game. And the fans are now in dismay, as Silas Bruckelman is as well. He can't believe it. The ref ended up calling that back. Simon Bourne headed to the up ref to ask for some answers here. And I'm not sure what the verdict was on that, but the ref has ended up giving that point to Niagara. The crowd is definitely not impressed. And it will be Guzak back to serve here for Niagara. And that one was way out. Gives the Royals something to celebrate, as it was looking a little dicey, a little grim there for a moment. Here is Jared Prinsloo. And Jared, you said earlier, missed serves are costly. You can't afford them at this time of the game. You have to still be aggressive with your serves. You don't want to be scared with it. But you want to limit those missed serves, and it is. Yeah, it is a rare miss.
It's a rare miss from Jared, who's very accurate and also very powerful with his serves. As we see Drummond now launch this one. Walcott tries to absorb as much force as he can off that one, but it just nicks one of the beams on the ceiling. We've reached 8 points now, and these two teams will swap sides. Redeemer with some points to make up. As this is effectively being down, what, 18-14? Right? In a normal set, you know? Which is, you know, if that were the case in a set of 25, we'd be saying that, you know, the team with the 14 needs to make quite a run to stop their opposition from getting too close to that 25-point mark. But now we just subtract 10 from our total, and Niagara, even with service at this point, has all the more control in gaining a wider lead. Currently their lead sits at 4, 7 points to go until they can claim victory in this set. But only a couple points will really turn the tide and make this set even again for the Royals.
We've got Drummond, the superstar, serving. The crowd is up on their feet. Although we still have a bit to go here. It's 4-8. Royals dug themselves in a hole early. There was some unfortunate calls that didn't go their way, some misreads of some serves, some missed serves, things that can easily be cleaned up in the second half of the 5th set. And so I'm sure that's what they're talking about right now, just settling down and taking care of those little things.
And we'd like to remind you that tonight's Redeemer Royals volleyball game is proudly brought to you by Finn Pools, a proud sponsor of your Royals and the Make a Splash move of the game. For over 25 years, Finn Pools has been transforming backyards with custom designs, expert installations, and trusted maintenance, delivering top quality products they stand behind. From concept to completion, they believe kindness matters and every project deserves excellence. Visit finnpools.ca to learn more or to start your next pool project today. We thank you to Finn Pools for support.
Jokes.
Okay, ready?
Yeah. And here we go. It's Jack Drummond serving. Spin serve. And that's just another unfortunate one for the Royals. Hit the top of the net and then trickled right in between Prinsloo and Walcott. And it's a 5-point deficit right now for Redeemer. They need some points and they need it soon. And that will suffice. Royals get back the serve and it will be Jonah Hybert. Carson Grimm checks in.
Well, Jackson, you mentioned that Redeemer hasn't won a game where it's gone to a 5th set yet this year. The Royals are hoping they can limit correlation to be just correlation. As they take a point there, as the Niagara serve receive fumbles that opportunity, sending it into the rafters. They give serve back to Hybert as the Royals only trail by 3. Bourne again going to talk to the official at the net. I wish there was a microphone there that we could hear.
We got to mic up these players.
Yeah, we do.
I'm sure they would like that too. They would have some fun with it.
I think we'd better mic us up first, though. That's probably the first step. Hybert with the serve. Unfortunately, into the net, giving Niagara back their 4-point lead. As we'll have R.J. Martin serving. Not usually a power server. The Royals should be able to pass this one up quite easily and get a good hit out of it. Providing they're in the right spot. Here comes the serve from Martin.
Great pass from Walcott. Bourne with the chance, and he capitalizes. Simon Bourne elevates and drives one home. And you know, they recognize that is a pretty easy serve to return, with all due respect, and Walcott was able to deliver a perfect pass and a perfect set from Brower. And we know what happens when Bourne gets a perfect set. And once again, we see Ruchtenhill. Skillstra's been happy with his serving so far, and he elects to put him back in for another designated serve. Oh, it goes to the level of the ceiling, doesn't hit a rafter, and they'll give a freebie. Ruchtenhill climbs over Hydberg to get that one. Here's Tremblay, he'll set it. Tomas, tipped by Brower, sets it to the far side, near the net, but Bourne's able to get it over. And that ended up being Riley Orr in the middle. Kind of found an empty spot on that Redeemer defense. Plays it across the court to it. And it is 11-7 here for Niagara. Tayton Stifter. He's had consistent serves this game. Brower to Bourne again. Just a bit low. And it was a... Well, my eyes may have deceived me. That actually went over the net, it looks like.
It's a little bit low to get over the block, but not low enough to get over the net and into the Niagara block and fall on their side of the court. Point won by Simon Bourne. It'll be Ben Brower now to serve. It's tipped down on Redeemer's side of the court by Niagara. Redeemer's unable to keep it up. Jared Prinsloo comically dives onto the Niagara side of the court.
Leave it all out on the floor there.
But
love to see it.
Redeemer will have to put back on their serious faces, although I'm sure Prinsloo wears both at the same time, as the serve comes in from Moss. Although Hybrid unable to get a clean first pass off, it puts Niagara 2 points away from claiming this set, this fifth and final set. Redeemer 5 back. We'll have to take a timeout here and talk things over.
Moss. And that one didn't touch the ceiling by some miracle. Prinsloo over the net. Shifter. And Jack Drummond dials one in. So here we go. The Royals can afford now 0 errors if they want to win this game. One more point for Niagara, and Niagara is going home winners. There's the pass to Brower. Bourne cross court. Moss can't control it, and that's a start. Got to start somewhere. It's 9-14, and Bourne is now serving. You know, this definitely changes, I feel like, the psychology behind serving, because you know that you can't afford a miss. So you have to take a little bit of aggression off of it, and then you might be setting them up to get into system easily. So really not an easy position to be in if you're Redeemer. They really have their backs against the wall here and can't afford any mistakes. That being said, we've seen this team put back 6 straight points before. It's not common, but it's possible. And they need 5 points to tie this up. And then from there, it's anyone's game. So we'll see how the Royals perform here under the pressure in the clutch.
Okay, ready.
Yeah. Well, it's crunch time here. It's do or die. Simon Bourne. Back to serve. He gets the serve in. Tremblay gets it up. Stifter. Drummond. And that'll do it. It is very fitting that Jack Drummond makes that final play for the Royals, and a disappointing loss. They left it all out there. And a few unlucky and unfortunate errors in that 5th set really was their undoing, but nothing to hang their heads about. They put on a great show for us today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for staying up with us. And from myself and my partner Jared, we thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next season, or no, next year, next calendar year, in January for our next home game.
Merry Christmas, everyone.